Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. We thank God for another wonderful day. Today, we want to continue or look at something that we've already talked about in Basic 8 and also in Basic 9, which happens that we are all doing or studying the same thing. We want to look at standard form. Last week when we met, we talked about significant figures and decimal places. That is rounding of whole numbers and decimals to a given significant figure or to a given decimal place. We spoke a lot, we explained a lot, and we also said that we have previous videos on the significant figures and the decimal points. So we explained and gave some example, which was just like a record to those of us in Basic 9 and also in Basic 8. But today we want to also look at an interesting topic which we've also discussed or talked about it in our previous videos, which is standard form, which is a standard form. We've looked at more examples in our previous videos, the introduction. We've looked at addition of standard forms or standard numbers, multiplication and division. But here we want to look at the introduction, which is for Basic 8 and also for Basic 9. But basically, when we say a standard number or a standard form, what makes a number to be in standard form? Now, for a number to be in a standard form, then we say that, or we agree that then the number should fall within the ranges of 1 to 9. Any number that falls within the ranges of 1 to 9, then that number is a standard number. So a standard form is given as a times n raised to the, a standard form is given as a times 10 raised to the power n. Now, once the number is in this form, then we say the number is a standard number, or it is in a standard form. Now, what we should also know is that A are all positive integers from 1 to 9. All positive integers from 1 to 9. That is the value of A. Where n happens to be all positive and negative integers. So n could be positive, or n can be positive, n can also be negative. We should also always understand that. But for the number to be in standard form, then the number A should be in the ranges 1 to 9. So if the number is 1, the number is 2, the number is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then the number is a standard or is in a standard form. But above 9, then we can say the number is in a standard form. So for example, if I write the number 26, or let's say 498, this 498 is a whole number. Now, once it's a whole number, then it simply means that this is not in a standard form. So how can it be in a standard form? For it to be in a standard form, then we have to let the number look like this, or it should be in this form. Therefore, we can say the number is in a standard form. Now, how can I write this whole number as a standard number? Now, in terms of decimals, we all agree that this number is the same as we writing 498.0. This is the same as this. So if we are having the decimal point here, then we have to move the decimal point in position of this number in such a way that we can get the 1 to 9 that has been explained or has been given to us. Good. So how can we move the point? By just counting or moving to the number of movement or the number of times we are going to move so that we can get the number within these ranges. So let's move the decimal point to the left. So if we move the decimal point, we are going to say from here 1, we now have the decimal point here. But this number is 49, and 49 is not within the ranges 1 to 9. So therefore we have to move the decimal point again. So the decimal point is here. Now let's move it here. Now when you move the decimal point here, we are having 4 points. Since it is 4 points, then it means the 4 is the whole number, and the point becomes between 4 and 5. So these 4 points can be seen or found within this range. So if I want to write this in a standard form, then I'm going to say this is 4.98 times 10. Now, I've been able to get the A, which is the 4.98 times the 10. Now, what is N? Now, N simply shows the number of times you moved the decimal point. So, if you move the decimal point twice, then N is going to be 2. But the sign in front of the N also depends on the movement. When you move to your left, then the sign of N becomes positive. Anytime you move to your left, the sign of N becomes positive. But when you move to the right, or towards your right, then the sign becomes negative. But since we are moving this way, that is to the left, how many times did we move? We moved 1, 2. So the power of N becomes 2. So this number, we say it is in a standard form. We've explained more in our previous video, which we'll add the link to that when this video is uploaded, so that we can get more examples and understand it clear. Now, the example here says that write the integers below in the standard form. So this is an integer, because integers are positive and negative whole number. But when running or writing a number in a standard form, then the integer should be always positive. Good. At our level, it should always be positive. Now, how can I write a 26 as a whole, as a standard figure? To write a 26 as the standard figure, then I should write a 26 in this form. Now look at this. 26. Since it is a whole number, then we are going to move from our right to the left, starting from the ones. So we are going to move from this side to the left. 26 is not within 1 to 9. So let's move 1. Now when you move 1, we have 2.6. Now if you have 2.6, 2 is within the ranges 1 to 9. So it means this 2.6 alone is getting close, or is in this range, which is getting close to be a standard figure. Good. So if I have 2.6, then I'm going to say 2.6 times 10. And the 10 is going to be raised to a power. Now this power is the number of times you moved. How many times did we move? We moved once. So I moved 1, and therefore my power of 10 is going to be 1. And also I moved to the left. So moving to the left, then the power of 10 is going to be a positive figure. It is always important to know the direction determines, or the direction helps us to know the sign to be given to the power of 10. Good. And therefore, we've been able to write this in a standard form. How about number 2? Number 2 says that also write in a standard form. We are going to start from here, since it is a whole number. So let's move and see from here. 1, 2. So this is also going to give us 3 points. So this 3 being a whole number is within the ranges 1 to 9. So 3.75 times 10 raised to the power, how many times did we move? We moved 2 times. Now remember that we've studied how to write a number in a significant figure. We've studied how to write a number in a decimal place. They can combine all these three in one question and tell us that we should leave our answer in a standard form with 2 decimal places, in a standard form with 1 decimal place. So for it to be a standard form, then it should be with like this. To 2 decimal places, there should be 2 numbers after the decimal point. So if this says that I should leave the answer in 1 decimal place or in a standard form with 1 decimal place, then this being my decimal, the decimal place is going to give me 3.8, because we know that 1 decimal place, there should be 1 number after the what? The decimal point. So this is going to be the number. The number on the right is 5, which is equal to 5. So adding 1 will give you that. Then times 10 raised to the power 2. So they can ask and link the place value to the significant figures, even also to the what? To the standard figures. So once we understand, we just apply and we are good to what? To go. Good. Now let's look at the third one. Also, you are writing it in a standard form. We are going to start from here. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 8 points. Then we write all the figures. 7, 6, 5, 0, 4, 9 times 10 raised to the power 6. Why 6? Because we moved 6 times. So this also can be asked. Leave your answer in a standard form with 3 significant figures. Leave it, you are leaving it in a standard form, also in a significant figure. So first, we have to let it be in a significant, in a standard form before we can leave it in a what? In a significant figure. So if I want to leave this in 3 significant figures, then the first non-zero digit, the very first non-zero digit. So I have, starting from the very first non-zero digit, 1, 2, 3. This will be my third significant figure. So adding 1 will give me 8.77 times 10 raised to the power 6. This is because I have been told to round it to 3 significant figures. So knowing significant figures, knowing standard form, knowing decimal places, when all these are combined in a question or in a word problem, we should be able to solve and know what is expected from us. Let's look at the last 2, then we see the word problem and significant figures and decimal places. So also we are writing this in a standard form. Now looking at the figure, you are having the decimal point in the figure. So this is a decimal. So since you have the decimal point in the figure, we are going to start from the decimal point or start on the decimal point. Now, if we stand here, trying to move to the left, we are not going to get any figure because we want figures that are between 1 and 9. So I'm going to move to the right. So I'm going to move 1. This is 0. 0 is not within the ranges. Then we have 2, 3. Now I'm having 0, 0, 5. Now this 0, 0, 0, 5 is the same as 5, which can be seen in the numbers here. So we are going to say this is equal to 5. Where is the point? Here. Then we have 4, 3, 5 times 10. And the 10 is going to raise to the power the number of times you moved. How many times did we move? Let's count. We moved 1, 2, 3. So raise to the power 3. We are not done. Looking at the direction, we move to the right. So if you move to the right, then the power of 10 must be negative. So we are going to write -3. But because we move to the left, getting positive, we don't write the plus, knowing that 1 is positive what? 1. Then the same thing to the number 5. So we are going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Because 4 points is within the number. So 4.035 times 10 raised to the power 1, 2, 3, 4 raised to the power 4. Negative because we move to the right. So with the standard form, it's very simple. You can also be given the numbers in a standard form already, where you'll be asked to write the original numbers, which of course it has been explained in our previous video. The link will be added at the description button where you can click on it to watch that very video. Let's look at the word problem, whereby you can be asked to find your answer in significant figures and also in a decimal place. The cost of a bag is 2,500. If a man bought 3 of the bags and a pair of shoes costing 154 Ghana cedis, how much did he pay altogether, leaving your answer in 4SF? Know that the S stands for significant, F is figures. So here, we have to know the cost of the what? Of the bag. One bag is 2,500. And he bought 3 of the bags. So we are just going to multiply 25 times 3. Then that will give us the cost of 3 bags, which is 3 times 2,500. So if he bought 3, multiplying will give you that. And this is going to give you 7,500. So this is the cost of the what? Of the 3 bags. Now when he bought the 3 bags, he bought another item which is 154. So cost of pair of shoes happens to be 154 Ghana cedis. Find the total because it says how much did he pay altogether. Altogether. So altogether, we are just going to say total cost is going to give you, adding this will give you 7654. 7654. Good. So let's say we have to leave to 3 significant figures. Looking at our final answer, we have to leave it at 3 significant figures. Let's see. Good. So this is the total cost. This is the cost of the item. But if you provide this as your answer, you are wrong. Because the question said, leaving your answer in significant figures. So what the question is demanding of is what we have to give to the question. Leave it in a significant word. Figure. So this in 3 significant figures, you can say 754. The first non-zero digit is 7. So if the first non-zero digit is 7, to the third, 1, 2, 3, to this value. So this is going to give you 7650. Why is it 50? Because the number on the right is less than 5. So we are going to maintain the 5 and change it to 0. So the actual cost or the total cost of the item, leaving our answer in significant figures, is going to give us 7,650. And that happens to be the what? The cost of the item. Good. Let's look at the last one. These ones are all just like recalling. We are doing a recall because we've already talked about standard form in our previous video, but happens to be new to students in basic 9, but in basic 8. So just for more understanding, just click on the link in the subscription button and trust me, your understanding will be very, very enlightened. What is the sum of 0.3098, 40.09, and 325? Leaving your answer in 2 dp. The dp we said is what? Is decimal place. The question said, what is the sum of the numbers? So we are going to first sum the numbers. The answer is not going to be our final answer because the question said, leaving your answer in a condition given. So let's first find the sum. So we can say that 0.3098. Let's add the decimals, which is 40.09. So 00, you have 8, you have 9, you have 9, you have 3, 0, you have 4. So adding the decimals, we are getting 40.3998. Now add this to the third number. So 40.3998. Then you have 325. So we can say 0.00. Our answer is 993.563. This would have been our final answer if we were not told to leave our answer in 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places, what does it mean? There should be only 2 numbers after the decimal point. So starting from the first number after the decimal point, we have 1, 2. So this is the number. Now what is the number at the right? It's also more than 5. So add 1. Adding 1 to 9 will give you 10. So record 0, push the 1 to this number, giving you 4. So our final answer should be 365.40. And therefore, leaving your answer in 2 decimal places happens to be this very answer. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll end it here. We apologize for speeding up. We are still working hard to get quality and good technical so that we can provide you with quality videos. You can subscribe, sponsor this program for others to be also educated. See you next time, where we'll talk about a bit of basic 7, that of basic 8 and basic 9. Bye-bye.